It is no doubt that for many months, one of the easiest and most effective ways to earn money in Hypixel Skyblock is simply to farm Zealots. And if you're like me, then you'll find this quite disappointing, because most of you guys will know that farming Zealots isn't the most exciting thing. And that got me thinking, is Zealot farming really that profitable? Is it still one of the #1 ways to make money? And that's when I got to testing. I spent 2 hours farming Zealots, fishing, and auction flipping to see which method earned me the most money in that period of time to try to make a solid conclusion on how effective it is to still farm Zealots. Now bear in mind that 2 hours really isn't enough time to make a proper decision on which method truly makes the most money over a period of time, but because I didn't have many hours to work on this project, I had to make do with what I had. But before we analyze the results, I want to quickly say that if you have any further questions, comments, or suggestions about this video, feel free to pop into my Twitch streams. I stream every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The links are down in the description below. We tend to have open discussions over there all the time, so that's definitely a great place to be. With that being said, let's jump straight into it. So I have just completed a 2-hour grind of just farming Zealots, literally 2 hours non-stop, no breaks, only using young armor and also my level 43 Endermite pet. You can see that we almost got to level 44 as well, so only a few more kills or some XP in general to level that up. But that's not what we're here for. You guys are obviously going to be here for the loot. So right in front of me here, I have organized all of the loot that I got from 2 hours of Zealot grinding, as you can see. And if we open it up, this is what we have. So let's start with the easy stuff first. We got a bunch of enchanted ender pearls. So obviously I didn't keep all the pearls that I got. The Endermite pet took care of most of that, just turned them all into coins. And then we also got some crystal frags. These are some from dragon fights. Some of them were dropped from the Zealots, but overall most of these came from dragon fights. I did get 5 enchanted obsidian as well. I don't know where, either from obby defenders or just from a Zealot. I also got an enchanted eye of ender, an enchanted bone. So just some really average, just mediocre loot. I got a ton of random runes here. I'm not going to go through these because you guys probably don't really care too much. From the 2 golems that we got in that lobby, so I only got 1 golem at the sort of towards the start, and then obviously since I stayed in that lobby the entire 2-hour period, I got a 2nd golem spawning as well. So we managed to get 2nd, I believe, on that one, and I got, I think, 7 enchanted endstone and then the poppy, but the first one we didn't do as well in that. And of course some of this endstone did come from the Zealots as well. Now from the dragons that we did leech, we managed to get about 3 protected dragons, so I got 17 fragments of those. We got 1 young and 1 unstable. I placed 2nd on the unstable, or 3rd, I can't remember, so we got a lot of fragments out of that. And then of course the thing you've all been waiting for, 3 summoning eyes. Now this is pretty bad in my opinion. Like, I would have expected a little bit more than that. 3 summoning eyes is really sort of the lower end of the spectrum for an entire 2-hour grind, which quite frankly I didn't really enjoy that much. I'm not one who really likes to Zealot farm, me personally. We only got 3 summoning eyes, and at the time of me recording this, they don't really sell for that much either. So what I'm going to do now is, with the 200k that we also got just from the ender pearls that got sold by the Endermite pet, just from the kills that we got, so the coins from the Zealots, I'm going to sell everything in this chest here except for the runes, because the runes won't really make anything at all, and we're going to tally up the scores then. So I'll cut back to you guys when we have that sorted. So I have gone ahead and sold absolutely everything that I had got from my 2-hour grind farming Zealots over in the end, and you can see over to your right on the screen we have got a total of 2.4 million coins sitting in our purse. Now that's some pretty solid money, although for 2 hours of constant farming and grinding, that's not as much as you would think. I have definitely gotten a little bit more from other money making methods, mainly auction flipping or bazaar flipping, so I wouldn't say it's the best or absolutely anything crazy. I'd call it more of an average type thing, but still 2.4 mil is quite a lot of money, and it's definitely something you can't really ignore. But you do kind of want to take that number with a grain of salt, because once again I did actually just clean out this entire chest. I sold everything but the runes, and if you are someone who does like to keep their crystal frags or maybe their dragon fragments, or maybe you do want to keep your summoning eyes for whatever reason, you're definitely not going to make as much money. So this is if you decide to sell absolutely everything, and if you're under the strict rules that I was as well, which was to not leave the lobby, to not use any potions at all, and to just have some sort of basic gear, young armor with an Endermite pet, and that was about it. So now that we've run that test, I'm going to show you guys what we got from fishing from 2 hours, and we'll compare the numbers and we'll see what we got. Okay, so we have come off of the 2-hour grind for fishing. Now it is the next day. I am recording this 1 day in advance from yesterday's Zealot grinding footage, but we are here. We will start things off with obviously the purse. We did make 122,000 coins just from catches. I also caught, I believe it was 1 Hydra, no Sea Emperors unfortunately, but we did manage to catch a couple of deep sea protectors and a bunch of other decent sea creatures. So we'll look at the first chest here. We've got just the regular, the fish, the salmon, the ink sacs, and the lily pads. We got a lot of this. This chest should sell for a fair bit of money. We will tally that up at the end of this segment here. Then if I look at the second chest, we got a lot of nice loot. So the rest of the lily pads, some clownfish, pufferfish, sponges, of course all this, the enchanted items. We also got one carrot king because I did manage to catch 16 carrot bait, and I got a carrot king with that bait. I also got 25 grand experience bottles, some extra bait here, and we got magnet 6, angler 6, luck of the sea 6, and frail 6. So these books do sell for decent money as long as you don't get lowballed. Sometimes they do go for very cheap on the auction as they aren't in high demand. People aren't always looking for them. We also got 2 wake runes here. These would also sell for a lot of money if you don't get lowballed on the auction as well. But overall, really good loot from 2 hours of fishing. It could be better if we did get an emperor catch, which is a thing about this sort of test, is that 2 hours isn't really enough to deduce which method is better, or if zealots in general are still better at farming, because of course we could have caught 3 emperors, we could have caught none, and obviously if you catch a shredder, that's going to sell for a lot more money than literally any of these chests right here. We also got the music discs. These won't make much, but I thought I'd add them in anyways. We got a bunch of music discs here, which I did manage to hold on to. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is go over to the bazaar. We're going to insta sell everything that we can, and also going to sell the music discs to the NPCs, and we should get some more money out of that. So I will cut back to you guys when we go and do that. And we are back. So I have officially sold everything that I could. So I insta sold everything at the bazaar, like all the fish, the lily pads, the salmon, and everything. I've cleaned out all the chests here, as you can see. The only things that I didn't sell were actually the books. The 4 enchanted books that we got, I actually just went to the auction house and I checked the bin prices and just went off of that. So in total, that brings up to a 1.7 million coin sort of profit. And from 2 hours of fishing, that is pretty poor in my opinion. Obviously, if we had caught an emperor, we would have been able to make a lot more money. At the very least, we would have gotten 1 emperor skull, but normally if you don't get a good drop, you get 2, which would have put us at about 2.7 million. And of course, if we did manage to get anything better than that, like a good flying fish or a shredder, we probably would have been able to be way above that amount. So we didn't get too lucky with this session, which is one of the things that does sort of come with these kind of grinding methods. It's hard to make a very accurate sort of analysis on which one works the best, because from only 2 hours of testing, you're not going to get too much knowledge, you're not going to get too much data to go off with. We could have gotten really lucky with summoning odds, we could have gotten really lucky with fishing catches. So overall, this isn't too accurate, but once again, still trying to give some sort of a representation of how much you can make from just like an average fishing session. And in total, we managed to make 1.7 million coins, which I think is not too bad, even though it could be a little bit better. Okay, so it has been 2 hours since I had started auction and bazaar flipping, and as you can see, I do have a couple things still in the auction here. I've got a crazy amount of people bidding. I managed to get a couple of decent flips, not too great. I'm not the best at auction flipping, but I did give it a good shot. I got around like 300k or so from like bazaar flipping just on its own, and that was like what, 20-30 minutes spent. I didn't get too many good flips. I couldn't find anything useful, but I did get some pretty solid flips. You can see here, if I just check maybe this one, this ocelot pet, currently going for 998k, and it still ends in about 11 minutes, and I think I only paid like one mil for it, like barely over a mil. So there's still a chance that I get profit out of that ocelot pet flip. And then with this wolf pet, I only paid like 40k for this thing, 50k or so. It's going for 200k, so that made quite a lot of money. And then as you can see over on my purse, I've got 1.7 mil, but that 1.7 mil isn't super accurate because I haven't quite collected my auctions yet. We still have this Runan's bow as well, which has 20 minutes on it. This has 10 minutes. This has 1 minute. It's going to end very soon here. But I actually bought this Runan's bow for about 600k, and I ended up enchanting it and all of that. So hopefully it goes for a little bit more than that, and I can make some decent profit out of it. Then we'll tally up all the money we've made at the end of this, and I'll cut back to you guys, I guess, when I can collect these auctions. Okay, so the auctions have finished up now. It's been about 20 or so minutes, so just let them finish off and do their thing, and we have made a total of 2.1 mil from these auctions. So I did start this off with 3 mil in total. If we just come along here, we can sell at the bow, sold for like 950k. I did make a lot of profit out of this one, about 300k or so. The wolf pet also made pretty solid profit, paid about 50k. This made about 150k profit. And then the ocelot actually undersold by about 50k. It was a risky flip. I wanted to go for it to see if it would be worth it or not, but obviously I'm not too great at auction flipping. Didn't make the smartest choice here, so we lose just a little bit of money on that. But if we go ahead and just claim all of our money there, we are rounding it off with 3.8 mil now to finish off this little grind. So what can we tell from this little experiment? Well, auction flipping is probably, in my opinion, I feel like this might be one of the best ways to make money if you get really good at it and you know the market well, you know the prices of lots of things, and you're not like me who's somewhat inexperienced and only knows like the prices of a couple of different things. Because obviously me and 2 hours of auction flipping didn't go too well. I tried my best but didn't do too great at it. Zealot farming does work really well. It's quite an effective method still, even though prices have dropped down so much over the many months. Although what I will say is that while zealot grinding is very easy to do and doesn't take much effort, it's definitely not one of the most efficient methods, because you can't really optimize it any more than just using full young armor, and that's about it. And then fishing, well, I would like to say that fishing was pretty unlucky for us, because in this situation we didn't catch any emperors, we didn't catch anything cool, we only just got the basic loot and those enchanted books. So the enchanted books are a bit of an anomaly, but at least for me, when I go fishing for around 2 hours, whether it be on stream or with some friends or whatever, I normally catch maybe one emperor, a couple hydras and whatnot. So from my experience, I normally get a bit more than what I got in this video, and that's why I said at the beginning at some point that this isn't really an accurate video as such. 2 hours on each activity is not enough to determine which one is better, although what we can determine from this is that zealot grinding is still consistent and it works fairly well most of the time. However, there are still better methods out there that can make you a lot more money, close to about triple the amount that you would with zealot grinding, if you know how to do it properly, or if you get slightly luckier than you may have with zealot grinding. So that about sums up everything that I had for this video. It was quite a fun little experiment for me, actually. I've never done anything like this before, trying to compare different money making methods and sort of giving myself 2 hours to work on things. Now this video did actually take a lot of time to make. I think this is what, my 4th day of recording. I've had to do sort of sessions in and out in between different things, and I put a lot of time into this video, so hopefully it was worthwhile. Hopefully it did mean something to you guys and you've learned something from this video. Now if you did like it and you would like me to do maybe a continuation of it, where maybe I put like 6 hours into each activity, which would take quite some time, I hope that this isn't going to have to happen, then if you do leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel, then I'll see what happens. If this does get suggested quite a lot by you guys, then I might consider doing something with more hours into it. But overall, I'm still happy with the outcome of this video, and I'm happy with how things turned out, and once again, hopefully you guys did as well. But with that being said, that's all I've got for you guys today, and as always, take care and peace. I can type in chat. Oh, no, I see you, bro. I love just grappling across half the map.